The starweeds, a mysterious species which has only popped up once. Very little is known about them. Some believe them to be created by the dark side of the Force, while others believe they were as ancient as the Force itself. Today, we're going to go into all the details we have of this mysterious species and whatever happened to them. So sit back, relax and wash your hands. Welcome to Star Wars Timelines. The starweeds were a humanoid kind of species only found in space. They were very tall and had long sharp claws, white bushy hair and glowing eyes. They would appear to people who would be repairing their starship in space or aboard vessels travelling through hyperspace. A starweed would choose a target and then could send a telepathic scream that caused fear in most individuals. They would then jump towards their victim and attack them. They were also powerful creatures capable of actually using the Force, and held a very strong hatred for Force users, which led some Jedi to believe that they were apparitions created by the dark side of the Force. As I said earlier, they were very tall and had long sharp claws, white bushy hair and glowing eyes. Their appearance also was relatable to that of a skeleton. They also wore rags that dangled from each arm, and their hair basically refused to obey the laws of physics. It would float around their heads, even defying gravity. The creatures had pale skin and their faces were dry and looked pretty much dead. However, there had been different accounts of what Starweed's face actually looked like, with many stating that the creature's face somewhat resembled their own. Starweeds each had a large toothy mouth and eyes that glowed in a way that some individuals described as ghost-like. Their arms were bony and ended in hands with three large sharp black claws. The species' incorporeal nature made it possible for the creature to resist normal attacks and pass through solid objects, although force fields did still stop the creatures. They were also fully affected by the use of the Force, so Jedi and Sith could, throw them up into the air or do their thing with them. Now the creatures did have legs, but never used them. Rather, they hovered or flew silently at a speed that was slightly faster than most beings. While intelligent, the creatures did not speak or communicate and had no known language. The species was capable of seeing up in complete darkness, although they were unable to distinguish colour under those conditions. Starweeds could also use the Force to drain energy, force grip, force lightning and force sight. They had no ecological role, and after dying, a starweed left no remains and completely disappeared. Another interesting fact about the species, their scream could be heard in the vacuum of space. Their scream often caused listeners to cower in fear or attempt to flee, although some individuals were able to overcome their terror and fight back. After issuing the shriek, the powerful creature would set upon its foe, shredding them with its sharp claws. A starweed would choose one target and focus on that individual, but their hatred towards Force sensitives was absolute, ignoring all other creatures and threats and always targeting the Force users first. Now the Force shriek they had could be comparable to that of Palpatine's shriek in Revenge of the Sith, perhaps a similar technique of using a Force shriek to inflict terror upon your prey. So that might be a little connection there. Now, there is little evidence to suggest that these creatures were manifestations of the dark side. Not only did they attack Jedi, but at points they would also attack the Sith as well. No real prejudice between any Force users. During the First War fought between Vitiate Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic in the days of the Old Republic, the Starweed Queen was a member of the species who was considered to be a legend, really. The Starweed Queen attacked many of the members of the Jedi Council, as well as a Padawan named X-Render. The group of Jedi was saved by Jedi Master Violet, who was the teacher of X-Render, which caused the Jedi Master to be captured by Imperial forces. Now this Jedi Master in question was a human male and a great hero in the Great Galactic War, deeply concerned with the preservation of life and more interested in communing with the Force than in using his power with the lightsaber. He was still a master with a lightsaber, however. When his apprentice X-Render battled Darth Barris, Violet joined X-Render and sought to redeem the Sith Lord. Failing to do so, Violet seized Barris's lightsaber and chose to use it as his own, a symbol of darkness brought into the light. This enraged Darth Barris and embarrassed him, who did end up surviving the duel and escaping. However, Violet went missing after a final heroic act. The Starweird Queen threatened the Jedi Council and his Padawan with total annihilation. He was able to stop the Queen's attack and defeated her. However, he was captured by Sith forces in the process. He was taken to an Imperial starship, but the starship was destroyed during the Battle of Hoth, which everyone presumed the Jedi Master had been killed in the crash. However, the Jedi Master did in fact survive, and he entered a trance beneath the rubble of the fallen ship, psychically trying to reach out to his former pupil. Violet had transcended the concerns of the galaxy, and his powers are now more realised than ever. Years later, X-Render finally made contact with his old Jedi Master. X-Render and his Padawan Sulor managed a rescue mission to Hoth, where they allied with the Tal's commandos. Unfortunately, their actions antagonized a renegade soldier, Brunmark, who managed to isolate and kill X-Render's Padawan. Meanwhile, Darth Barris learned of X-Render's activities on Hoth and sent his enforcer to chase him. Despite this, X-Render finally made it to the wreck and reunited with his master. However, the reunion was brief, as the warrior found and fought X-Render. The next part remains legend. Some say that the warrior killed X-Render, despite Violet showing mercy. The fight had caused the entire area to become unstable. There was a possibility of more tremors that could have collapsed the site on everyone. Violet then asked to be left alone, having grown beyond the galaxy's concerns during his exile, but the warrior refused to leave him be. The warrior dueled the Jedi Master and killed him. Other rumours say that he defeated X-Render but let him live, as well as the Jedi Master, on the condition that they be buried alive inside the cave. The warrior did exactly that and buried them. We'll never know what actually happened for sure, since the cave did fall either way and buried all evidence of what happened. As for whatever happened to the starweeds, that remains unknown, including what happened to the Queen. The actual battle as well that took place also seems to be shrouded in mystery. The reason for why the Starweird attacked the Jedi hard during the Great Galactic War also seems to be shrouded in mystery as well. For unknown reasons, the Starweird, guided by their Queen, decided to use the war as an excuse to annihilate the Jedi and eventually all Force sensitives in the galaxy. To achieve this end, the Starweird Queen attempted to kill the majority of the Jedi Council, believing that taking out the Jedi leadership would fall to the rest of the Jedi. Though, as I said earlier, she was defeated by Violet before she ever got the chance to go with these plans. As for where they came from, most speculate that these creatures came from deep space, otherwise known as the Unknown Regions. The Unknown Regions were regarded as an unexplored region that was separated from the galaxy by a labyrinth of solar storms, rogue magnetospheres, black holes, gravity wells, and things far stranger. Strange creatures were also known to inhabit the void. The maze was considered impossible, and many exploration ships and probe droids were lost trying to breach it. One of the biggest civilizations in the region was the Chiss Ascendancy. In some eras, like during the Great Galactic War, the Cold War, and the Galactic War, prominent species like the Chiss allied with galactic powers like the Sith Empire. The Ascendancy also participated in diplomatic talks with the Republic and later maintained relations with both the Galactic Empire, the New Republic, the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances, and the Second Galactic Empire, ruled by Darth Krayt. Other known civilizations to arise in the Unknown Regions was the Eternal Empire, the Empire of the Hand, the Infinite Empire, the Old Sith Empire, the Tongue, and the Yuzhang Vong, and many others as well. Even though it was known as the Unknown Regions, the Empire of the Hand had plotted 250 sectors in the region. Now that is all we have for today's video. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.